So when I posted my Unis Honest joke about MatPat leaving, which by the way, again, was a joke, it was labeled with the hashtag joke, a lot of people wanted to know whether or not I was hating, and I'm not hating. But people also asked what my actual opinion of MatPat was, and I'll be honest, it wasn't great. I didn't dislike him, but he did say some pretty transphobic stuff pretty routinely, and he never apologized for it. And the stories that came out of some of the people who worked with him were pretty bad. If nothing, he did a lot to chase success, sometimes at the expense of people he worked with. But he's certainly not the worst creator out there. I mean, he never did anything, like, abusive to anyone. So that's why I decided, I'll just make a joke. I'll keep it respectable. I'm not going to get on any high horse, I don't get anything out of being like, I was mid on MatPat. But my sentiments regarding my reference to Unis Honest are real, because MatPat wasn't the only one who quit YouTube. In fact, one of my favorite creators, Tom Scott, also ended up quitting. But I think the major difference here is when Tom Scott quit, the feeling I had was not loss, but happiness. You see, the content creation grind is unsustainable. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok are not interested in being stable. They're interested in chasing growth at all costs, much like MatPat. And that creates a situation where people cannot get into a stable workflow because the algorithm's always changing, and that means people always need to be more and more productive. And what started as a hobby that paid the bills ended up being a more than full-time career that pays half as much. We're seeing this go at hyperspeed with TikTok, where creators will rise in a matter of years or even months and then fall just as quickly. And while there are major problems with the way that we treat social media as a career, I'm not even complaining about that. Because the reality is nothing lasts forever. The reason why I made an Unis Honest joke is because Mark and Ethan made Unis Honest to remind us that these pieces of content don't come out of nowhere, they come from people. They said in interviews that they essentially did a speed run of what it's like being a content creator. They created a new channel, they went whole force into it, and they burned themselves out, and then they left it behind. And the thing is, if you are one of the lucky few that get to do that, that's so amazing. If you don't have to chase the grind and can retire to do other things, you made it. You succeeded. In a perfect world without the dreaded weight of capitalism weighing down on our shoulders, they probably could do this forever. They could just treat it more like a hobby and let it slowly be a part of their lives. But they can't. Not with the demands that being a content creator has on you these days. And so when Tom Scott said, I'm gonna stop, my first feeling was, good for you. And there are like 7 people who recently quit, and I feel for each and every one of them, good for you. Because I still have all their content, and I've lost a lot of other content creators along the way. I miss PBS Idea Channel. I miss That Happened. I miss when Brian David Gilbert did stuff for Polygon. I miss when Hey Ash, What You Playin' was a thing. I miss when Viheart routinely uploaded. Heck, I am subscribed to well over 1,000 YouTube channels, and I think that only 20% of them maybe still upload. It's mostly just a graveyard. But each and every time someone left, I thought, good for them. Because they are more than just content for me to consume. They're a person, and they moved on to better things. So I get that there are people out there that are upset that MatPat's not gonna be on YouTube as much anymore. But if you really like and appreciate MatPat, I think the appropriate response is, good for you, man. And I'm just letting all you know, one day, I'm gonna stop doing this too. I've been around for 2 years and it's been great, and as long as my sponsor item label, link in my link tree, and others still keep paying my bills, I'll keep doing it. But I might burn out, or the sponsorships might dry up, and then I'll probably stop. Because if I can't make my living doing this, I'm just not gonna have the time for it. And when that day comes, I hope that you guys will say, good for you, man. I hope that you'll continue to remember my content. I hope you'll continue making jokes about not fucking chimps, gravity being a bitch, a billion lions beating literally everything. But in the end, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened.